give us maybe a little background on how this all came about, the contract extension for you?
It was just two parties kind of met. We kind of been negotiating since the end of the season, and it was something that both parties wanted to do, and it just made sense for both of us, and we worked it out. So I'm happy to be here, blessed, unfortunately. So keep chasing the Super Bowl.
So it's less of a surprise this year than last.
Definitely less of a surprise this year. This year made sense to me for sure. Most definitely.
Why did it make sense to you?
Because I feel like I finally did something on the field that was, impressive and something that you can, respect and stand on before that. It was shocking. I had some ups and downs here and there, so, to be able to be here now feels good.
Is there a time when you might not have been sure that you were going to be here for 8 or 9 years, when or maybe you didn't know for sure that you wanted to? I mean, did it take some time to get there, or this is the right thing?
No, I knew I've always wanted to be here. I just think as a player, you don't know when your time's up. You don't know the conversations that I had, when you're not around, or in the meetings, or those type of things. So, you're always wondering what's going to happen. You've seen some of the best players get traded sometimes, so you just never know. But, we had, some good, transparent dialogue throughout this whole process. So they was honest with me, I was honest with them, and, we got to.
What
Rashod, you look at this as...
You had your breakout year last season, but looking back, reflecting, what more should we see from you? What more do you think we can do this
I just know I can play ball, and it's like everybody knows that now. I'm not here to prove that to nobody. I want to prove that to my teammates. And I work for the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? I work for Lamar Jackson technically. If these guys are pleased with what I'm doing and my work ethic and all of that, then I feel like as a team that's what's important to me. So I've done that, and I'm definitely looking to continue to do all that.
Do you look at the contract as sort of a validation for what you've accomplished and the strides you've made?
For sure. yeah, most definitely. It's kind of how this thing works. You get paid if you're doing the right things, on and off the field, and it's a respect thing. It's showing that the organization believes in me, showing that I believe in them. So hopefully this thing keep on trucking in that direction.
Rashod, does it take trust from between player and organization that, look, if I outperform a contract that even if I just signed it, if I outperform that, this organization's going to take care of me in their own?
That's what you would want them to do, but it doesn't guarantee anything. I got a good relationship with the Costa, and I think they help me well. That helps us well. They respect how I work, how I come to working, and my teammates do. I think that's why I'm still here. I hope so. Not just about what I do on the football field. So I'm definitely hoping to continue that mindset and that work ethic to continue to prove to the coaches that I'm worthy.
Rashod, I saw you
I don't even know if he's really talking to me. I think I just dapped him up and I kind of kept it moving. But Hard has always been a guy that's believed in me since I've been here. Cool guy. And, he's good for the team and he's good for all of us. So.
Rashod, you guys have DeAndre Hopkins in the receiver room now, but you're under contract for quite a few more years. You're going to be the veteran leader in this room for a while. How do you approach that role, and how do you see yourself developing as a leader in this locker room?
I'll continue to do what I do, lead by example. Some people are vocal, and some people, lead the way they work. And Lamar is a good example. Derek is a good example. They might not say much, but you can tell, when it's time to get right. You know what I'm saying? And lock in. And I think that's more, what I am. Vocal on, the vocal, leader. Calvin is a vocal leader. But they work hard as well. Me, I'm gonna show up every day. You know what I'm saying? Work, continue to do that, and hopefully that helps others around me.
What did last season do for you? Just obviously the contract that led to that. What impact did it have on you to be able to go through the season healthy, have the kind of year you had? What did it do, not just physically, but mentally?
I don't know. I just think last year was fun overall. I don't think it helped me really get through anything. I think before the season started, I was kind of, at that point of peace, and I feel like that was a heavy reason to why I was able to do, those type in a better headspace, throughout the whole year. So, hopefully we'll keep that mindset as well, and think about good place to come.
Rashod, you played with a veteran like Odell Beckham. Now you have D-Hop here. Is there anything that you are hoping to pick his brain about? Is there anything you want to take from him?
I mean, nothing in particular, but I think with a guy like that that's done so much in the league with so much respect, I'm ready to ask him anything, as far as catching, hands, route running, body, taking care of your body, what you do, using year one compared to year five. There's a lot of different variables. I'm a deep thinker, so I'm not like a one person guy. If I'm not ask a question, I want to keep digging until I really figure out the best way to do something. D-Hop has already been a good vocal leader for us, as far as helping us with the young guys, and I definitely trust that he'll continue to help us out in that way.
Rashod, offensive side, played a little bit of the slot last year. So do you expect that to be a big role for you, switching out players like that?
I honestly don't know. I really never know. I really never know, bro. So you just gotta be prepared for it all. Just show up and be ready to play. So I'm gonna just continue to do what you want.
To maybe kind of spread it out a little more?
Whatever they want me to do, I'm gonna do. I just like playing football, and at this point, bro, I'm grateful for it all. So play in the slot, play in that tight end, ship block, whatever. I'll do it, especially now.
Rashod, not many players get 3 contracts with the team. Did you take a minute to kind of take that in, especially since early on there was kind of some tumultuous days with the injuries and all that you were able to be a guy who was a 3 contract guy here?
I just think for me, it hits different when it's a receiver here. We all know the perspective here, and we've been through a lot, and we go through a lot. We continue to go through a lot, when it comes to facing backlash, whatever it may be. But definitely, I'll just say it means a lot to be able to start something new here, something fresh when it comes to the receiving room, and hopefully we continue to make plays and change the narrative that we have here.
Rashod, you mentioned your relationship with Eric DeCosta earlier. He's publicly said over the past few seasons he's bullish about your talent. So what does it mean to you just to have him kind of stick beside you, continue to defend you, and continue to sign you?
It means a lot. I mean, it's coming from the top man that pay us. So honestly, if we got that respect from him, it means a lot. Hopefully that continues to develop and grow over the time. And being able to build a relationship with him, even all the coaches, it's been real good. It's been real beneficial.
Have you had an opportunity to share this moment with your family? What was their reaction?
Nah, I told my mom about a couple days ago, but I haven't called her yet. I kind of signed and then came to work after that, so I'm gonna go call her right now.
You heard from Lamar?
I spoke with
Who that?
Lamar?
Not yet. I don't know if anybody heard from Lamar. We'll find out soon.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rashod.
I guess this isn't McAfee, so I gotta watch my language, right? Yeah. So
I know. So
if I mess up and throw out one, make sure we can wipe it off. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I mean, you were part of media for a little while doing that. Did any knocking off rust getting back into coaching? What was it like getting back to coaching for you?
You got to get in football shape. We tell the guys we're fixing to send them home for the summer. And you always worry about that, right? Because they're in great shape now, and then everybody's got a month off. So you want them to come back in football shape. But you really can't replicate, the pads and all those kind of things. Coaching's no different, So I'm pretty damn good on a Peloton. I ride my tail off on that bike, but coming out and running around with these guys again, that took a minute, And I don't have the bounce in my step that I used to, but it's been awesome. I'm so grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be back. It's always something when you have something. kind of take it for granted, and then when you don't, you realize just how special it was to coach and be a part of something, be a part of a team, have the relationships that you develop and build when you're part of something like that. So it's been awesome. Got obviously a gold standard of organizations, top down, and the familiarity with John. Staff's a lot different, but felt like I knew everybody. Manny, in the kitchen, bugging me every day still, like I never was gone. See a ton of familiar faces. So it's been, they've all made a pretty easy transition.
Besides Jameson still being here, what's been consistent about sort of, like you said, it's been a bunch of years since you were here last, but the organization's pretty famous for its consistency. What do you kind of notice off the bat?
Just the same. The standard is the standard. I know that's cliche, but the type of people, like, if you don't, John talked about it today, Gruden was here today, like, if you don't love ball, you can't survive it. There's a big difference between like and love. The relationship, it's going to be 36 years in July for me and my wife. If I would have just kind of liked marriage, it would have been over probably 35 years ago. She sacrificed a lot, but you gotta love ball. And the type of people that they bring in here, the football character, the football IQ, the standards, what the expectations are, that hasn't changed. Just seeing Oz every day, Eric every day, John, it's like I never really left. Building's a little bit bigger, adding on again, some of those things, but it's been pretty seamless.
Chuck, when you look around the league, especially on the defensive side of the ball, you're seeing more positionless football, guys that can play all over the place. The Ravens have a couple of those guys on their defense. How different is that, trying to scheme up and coach those types of guys compared to, guys used to play just certain positions?
Yeah, when you have a guy, I'm assuming you're talking about a guy like Kyle, Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, veteran guy, been in the league a long time. Can play outside, can play the nickel. Kyle, play deep, play big nickel, play dime linebacker, play deep in coverage, play man, blitz, all those kind of things. When you have, chess pieces, as we like to refer to them, and you can move those things around, not only, his football character, but then his skill set, his ability to do all the things. You think about, the wide receiver groups that we're going to have to face, the quarterbacks that we're going to have to face. You're going to have, dudes like that. Roquan, I was with Roquan, as you guys know, in Chicago. I knew the minute, he came over here that he was going to be a game changer, for this defense and for this unit. Those guys, again, they're football smarts, their football IQ, their love for the game, their passion for the game, their passion for playing for one another is off the charts. So you can't have enough of those guys.
Chuck, how do
That's
you
gonna
ensure
be
that
a
the secondary
second
hits
year.
the ground?
1 second.
Zach's going to be a second-year play caller. What has stuck out to you about him so far?
Zach is awesome. As you guys know, ton of energy, ton of juice, ton of passion. Super smart, super intelligent. He knows this, defense inside and out. I just look at the transformation, like what happened here on defense when you look at from the bye week on. There wasn't a better defense in the National Football League. They gave up probably an average of 270, 280 yards total. Pass defense was awesome. Rush defense, of course, they led the league anyway in that. Turnover margin, third down, everything was number 1 or 2 in the National Football League. So I think it's a process, and stepping into that role. I stepped into that role back in 2011 here, and I coached the secondary for 3 years. And then all of a sudden, a guy leaves, and you get the opportunity of a lifetime to do that play call. That was that's a process. That takes time. Now the system, has been in place. The players were, the same. So Zach's fortunate that way. I was really fortunate that way, and he's got a bunch of great coaches. Excluding one 65-year-old man, in that defensive room. So I'm just trying to do my part, stay in my lane, know my role. But yeah, he's been tremendous. And the thing about Zach, he's going to hold himself accountable. He's not afraid to hold these kids accountable, these players accountable. And he's going to be honest with them. He's going to be upfront. He's going to be forthright. He's going to tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear, which is, to me, huge. And that's a great quality to have.
Chuck, how do you ensure that the secondary hits the ground running this year? Because I think those guys would be the first to say that they didn't play up to the standard that they expected for the first half of last year.
I think we're off to a great start. Right now, Donald DeLessio is a secondary coach. He comes over from Kansas City. He's done a phenomenal job to this point of getting not only the veterans that have been here, but these young players, these rookie players, Malachi, a couple corners that we drafted, BK and Bean, so he's done a great job. But we've got another, handful of OTAs. We've got a mandatory mini camp. We'll do a great job and give these guys kind of a prescription when they leave for that month of what to, keep working from skill development. They'll have their iPads. They'll get to take all the tape home, all the corrections home, all the film home, and keep studying, and keep growing that way, so that when training camp comes, it isn't like, back in the day when I was here in 08, we were going to Westminster. There's no CBA in place that said you had to, practice, shorts, maybe spiders, then maybe get into pads, have this ramp up. Like day 3 we were full pads, day 4 we were full pads, day 5 we were full pads, and it was 2 a day. So you couldn't. And my point is, like, you had to show up in shape, and you wouldn't make it through the first 3 days of camp. This is really no different. So we've got, good veteran group. We got, leaders in the back end there that we will lean on. Donald and myself will lean on to stay connected with all the guys in the back end, so that when we do show up, we hit the ground running. We're in shape, physically. If you don't show up in shape, then as soon as you get tired, this thing slows down. You lose focus, you lose concentration, then you have, a bad day, and then fall maybe by another. Can't happen.
Chuck, was there an epiphany you had that made you want to get back in, or
what's that?
How did this opportunity come about? If you gave us a lot of background, was this something that was kind of stewing with you, that you were kind of getting the itch to get back in?
Yeah, I never really stopped thinking about coaching and thinking about the game. I was fortunate, Pat having me on and doing that show, being on the program with him and the boys. That was kind of my football fix. But that was 6 months out. That was football season. But it kept me connected to the game. But I never really stopped thinking about, maybe coming back at some point. My kids, my wife, my daughters. I got 3 daughters. I got 5 grandkids. They don't know any better, but they all thought I retired too young, as it was. But it was 2020, coming off of COVID, and I just kind of had enough. I was like, okay, I need a break. Probably like everybody else in the world, but never really stopped thinking about it. This was just probably the only opportunity that would get me off the couch, because I was playing golf and working out, playing with my grandkids. Life was pretty good. A lot of my friends back home like, are you out of your mind? Why would you go back to the grind? You can't replicate this. You can't replicate the grind. It's hard to fill your days. My day was usually, I was done with the workout, honeydews, chores, and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I can't start drinking. I'll wait till a certain time to start that. But it's hard to fill your days. So yeah, it was like I said, the opportunity of a lifetime. Probably the only place that could get me there.
McAfee rubbed off.
I think that could change week by week, man. But I think the vision ultimately is be ball hawks and be ball control back there, man. Great communicators, great leaders. Get us right, get us in and out of the right calls. Nothing over our heads, and then make plays back there. I think last week when K-Ham was here with Malachi, it was great to see those guys kind of start building that chemistry. And I already seen the impact that K-Ham has had on Malachi with his communication, his knowledge, and just his football savvy. So Malachi's picking that up. I got a great vision for those guys. I think they're going to help us out and play great football for us.
Zach, what's it been like working with Chuck Pagano, and how valuable is it to add someone, not just a former DC, but a former NFL head coach in the defensive coaching staff?
It's been great. It's been great. I mean, I'm glad that he's here. I mean, I don't know how old he is. I don't put his age out there, but I mean, he has great energy. I mean, his energy is great, and obviously, like you said, his football knowledge, man, it's just so valuable to me personally, and then just to us as a team and as a defense. I mean, he's led great defenses here as a coordinator. He was a great position coach throughout his whole career, great head coach as well. So he's seen a lot, been around a lot, and you know, he's a DB expert. So he's gonna be great for our guys. He's already been great for us as players and coaches and as an organization. So I'm fired up about it.
Zach, what's your?
Nate Wiggins talked about he's put on some weight this offseason, and he has big goals and expectations for this year. What are you seeing from him out here at practice, and what do you see for him in terms of your expectations from this year?
Yeah, I thought Nate did a great job going to work this offseason, man, putting weight on, man. That's a testament to him and the strength coaches coming up with a great plan, and obviously he followed it. The weight is real, you know, so that's good to see. But what I see him focusing on now, man, he's more locked in on his fundamentals and technique on a more consistent basis. Like last year, I felt like he got to that point towards the end of the season, but last year he was just running with like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to figure out what to do. Now he understands the system, he understands the defense. He's been in the league 4 years. He understands formations from offenses, so now he can really just hone in on his technique, man. And that guy right there, he take his technique to another level on a consistent basis. The sky's the limit for him.
Zach, there's a lot of you get the outside linebacker doing back attack plus Mike Green. I know it's early, but when you look at him, what have you seen, and sort of what does that do in terms of versatility, in terms of what you guys can do pass rush?
Yeah, man, I see a guy who comes out here and works, but from a physical standpoint, I mean, his get off is real, and he understands the level of the quarterback, man. So I think he's going to be a real valuable piece for us. He's strong, he's explosive, he can rush on the outside and he can rush on the inside. So one thing we always say, you can never have enough rushers, man, and he's going to add to that room, and it's going to be a great valuable piece for us. But I'm happy with Mike. I think that he's doing a good job with what he can do right now, given the restrictions with the pads and everything. But I think training camp and preseason, you guys really start to see, you know, what abilities he really has.
Zach, we were seeing
of the defense. I mean, Trenton's a guy you stayed high on, even though he had struggles last year. What are you going to see from him in these days at OTAs?
He's a lot more confident, man. This is the most confident that I've seen Trent. He's a lot more relaxed before the play. I hear him talking. This is the most I've heard him communicate on the field. So I'm excited, man. We're excited about him. I think Tucci has done a great job. Tyler Santucci, our linebacker, has done a great job with him thus far. And he's done a great job out here, man. So he's actually turning into one of our most vocal guys. So the only way we say you can be confident in speaking is if you're confident in knowing what you're doing. So obviously he's confident in what he's doing. He's doing a heck of a job. So I'm excited to see him to continue to trend upwards for us.
Exactly. We're looking.
What excites you about Teddy?
Say it again,
What excites you about Teddy?
Man, shoot, Teddy plays like a Raven. You know, his college film, he flies around and he seeks contact. He can play in space, and he's a smart player. I mean, talk about a guy who came from a smaller school, dominated that, then made a 1 year jump, got there kind of like during the middle of the summer, and dominated in the ACC at a big school. So I'm excited about Teddy. We've done a lot of his plays. He's playing both positions for us, Mike, Will, and Don, and he's done a good job going out there so far.
Hey, Zach, we see Jalen Armour-Davis floating all over your defense, even a little bit at safety. What goes into that decision? What goes into sitting down with the guy and saying, give this a whirl?
Yeah, I think, man, since I've been here way back in 2014, it's always been preached. You want to get your best 11 guys on the field. So in the secondary, most of the time you're going to have at least 5 DBs on the field, sometimes 6, maybe 7. So you want to get your best 11, but especially with the top 5 DBs, you want to play with the best 5. You don't want to limit yourself or a player just because, well, he's only a corner. So even though he might be better than a safety, we can't play him because he's on the corner. So we force our guys to kind of learn everything, and then we start throwing them out there to see if they can pick it up and execute at a high level. So Jalen, he might be the smartest DB in the room because he knows all the positions, can play all the positions, but he's just one of the guys we're starting to do that with, and you'll start seeing more guys do that as we get going.
Zach, Adafe Owe, he also put on some weight in the offseason. What do you think that'll do for him? How do you think it'll help him take another step this season?
Yeah, man, he's another guy who came back and he's always been in real good physical shape, man. But you can see he took it to another level. Like he's 20 pounds of muscle. I don't know how he did it, but I'm glad he did. But he's still fast, still got that fast, that twitchiness, and that explosiveness. So, this is a big year for Dafe. Like we don't shy away from it. We all know what it is. It's a contract year for him. We know his individual goals. We know he wants to get accomplished. We know his team goals. He wants to be a centerpiece to help us, reach the Super Bowl. So he's took that approach. I think it's going to do wonders for his game because tackles are already scared of his speed, and he has the ability to power. But I think with 20 extra pounds, that's going to make his power even better. So I'm excited for Dafe, man, and I think he approached his situation the right way. In the contract year, he's been here. He's been here even in phase 1 and phase 2, and he's out here practicing, working his butt off. And he continues that mindset and keep putting the work he's putting in. It's going to pay off for him.
Zach, I know the interception against Oregon was kind of stand out. Do you remember what was a play or anecdote that you had when you were watching this game that really stood out to you?
Man, he made a lot of plays, man. I mean, this dude, he's kind of been on our radar for a while just because Georgia, obviously, they've been a great football team, so they had a lot of guys come out over the years. And I remember watching, DBs that came out specifically in last year's class, 2024 class, and I'm like, man, he's 24. I could ask him the scouts and everything. And they're like, he's not coming out till next year. I was like, oh, he's a true sophomore. But I think the thing that really impressed me about him this year was Georgia had a lot of young guys in the secondary. He's one of the older guys there as a true junior. So basically by week or by game plan, he played all around the secondary, and he still was their best player back there. So that was real intriguing to us, that we like to be versatile with our guys. We don't like locking our guys in one position. We don't like locking ourselves in one position depending on, who we're playing that week. So if you got a guy in the secondary who can play safety, corner, nickel, dime, and play it all at a high level, it's real valuable. So I think that's what really stood out to me about him this year.